When it comes to land documentation, the first document that you need to know is what they call the land title or land certificate or titre foncier in French. What is a land title? A land title is just a legal document connected to land ownership recognition. So this is the highest document that proves land ownership in Cameroon. It is being issued by the state to an individual recognizing that this piece of land belongs to this person and that this person has total right and authority to exploit this piece of land as permitted by the law. And when you have a land title that has been issued to you, even the government cannot take that piece of land from you without due legal compensation, right? So when you have a land title, you even have superiority over the government, right? If they need to do anything on your land, they need your permission for them to be able to do that, and they need to compensate you adequately. This is very important. Many people, they have land, but they do not have title. When you don't have a land title, the thing that you can do with your land is very limited. When you have a land title, that land title can permit you to take loans from the bank and many other things. There are certain things that you cannot do with your land if you do not have a land title attached to it. So this is a very important document that everybody needs to strive to have when it comes to owning land. The next document that you need to know about when it comes to land is what they call a deed of conveyance. A deed of conveyance is a legal binding document used to transfer ownership, titles, or right over a piece of land from one person to another. So when you maybe buy a land and you want to transfer the ownership from the owner of that person to you, one of the documents that has to be done is what they call a deed of conveyance. And this document is being done by a lawyer or by a notary. It is a legal document. When you have this document, it is being done in the right way, you can at least prove that you have legal ownership over that land. But a deed of conveyance is not as powerful as a land title or as a land certificate. So even though we will have a deed of conveyance, it's always good for you to have a land title, right? This is very important. Then there is also what they call a chief attestation, which is a document that is being issued by a chief to someone. Maybe when you buy a community land from the chief, or when maybe the chief give a land to you, or like now in Cameroon, the government now permit a chief of third degree to be able to issue what they call in French attestation de jouissance paisible de terre. So which is a document that is just like a temporal land title that is being issued to individuals to give them the capacity to use their land for a short while, like 5 years period of time, while waiting for them to do their land title. So this one does not denote permanent ownership, it just denotes what? Temporal ownership. And this is not the supreme document. It's been issued to you by chiefs. You need to go and do the deed of conveyance, you need to go and do the land title. This is very, very important. There is also what they call a sales agreement or a transfer of ownership or a simple sales agreement. This document is just like a deed of conveyance, but it is not being done in the presence of a lawyer or a notary. It is being done maybe by individuals themselves or by chief or by whosoever, right? You can just say, this person, I signed that, I've transferred ownership over this piece of land to this person, and then from today, this person is the one owning this land and all the rest. That's just a simple sales agreement. The person who is selling the land agree that he transfer ownership right of that land to another person. In the French section of Cameroon, there is this document that they call attestation d'abandon de droit coutumier. So this is just like a document called attestation of the abandonment of customary right, and this document is being done by chiefs to show that this person abandoned the right that they have over this document to this person, and these are usually being done in the presence of witnesses, right? This is very important. Now another document is payment agreement. This is now a document that when you do, this is when you usually deposit money cash physically when you are paying a piece of land, or even electronically or through bank. It is the person signing that he accepted this amount of money from this person at this time, maybe through bank or physically or this, and the person signed with their name. This is very important. Another kind of document that is now also very important is what we call a survey plan What is a survey plan? It is a legal binding document that is being done by a licensed or a registered surveyor, showing the exact boundaries, the coordinate, and the size of a land. This document is very, very important. You cannot have a land title without doing this document, and it's not being done by any kind of person. It is a registered surveyor signed in the National Order of Surveyors that do this thing, not any kind of person, right? This is very important. And then there is also a document that is called a site plan. What is a site plan? In simple terms, it's just a document that shows the geographical area where a land is located, right? It shows also the boundaries of the land. It shows the layout of the land. It shows the features of the land. It can maybe show other things that are surrounding the land, the route leading to the land, the kind of building that are there. It is a sketch that is being drawn by a designer or by an architect, showing the layout of a land, how a land look like. That is in simple terms what a site plan it is. All these documents are very important for you to have when you want to buy a land. They are very, very important. All of them have power in different orders. Something like a land title is the most powerful, and then the deed of conveyance is now coming after the land title. A survey plan is also very important. You cannot have a land title without this, so you must have it. And a site plan is also very important. Now, some people in Cameroon, due to their limited financial capabilities, are unable to do land certificate, because land certificates are expensive in Cameroon, right? Depending on the surface area of the land, depending on the kind of project you want to do with the land certificate can range up to 600,000 to 1 million and even more. So some people, due to their limited financial capacities, are unable to do the land title. But I will advise you, even if you cannot do the land title at the moment, it is good for you to save and at least do the deed of conveyance. It is also a legal document that will give you at least certain degree of confidence that you are the owner of that land. But when you do only a simple sales agreement, it is not a legal document. It will give you just a little right, but not a total right, or not even a supreme or higher right legally, as a deed of conveyance will do for you, right? So it's always good at least to do this. So always involve notaries or lawyers in all your land transaction. This is very, very important. And when you do all this, you are going to have a higher level of safety when it comes to real estate in Cameroon.